Hey, my name is David, and I want to share some language learning tips and tricks with you that I've picked up over the years. Right now we're in Brazil, just south of the Amazon basin, and I remember what it felt like when I first started to learn the language. If you're trying to learn a new language too, then we're probably a lot alike. I remember that I wanted to learn to speak the language fluently and proficiently. I wanted to understand what other people were saying and be able to express myself well, without sounding like a foreigner, like a gringo. I still remember what it felt like when I tried to talk to my neighbor over here. First time I saw him, I said, "Hello, friend," and I couldn't think of anything else to say. Well, actually, I didn't know how to say anything else. So I just sat there and looked at him with a big old stupid grin on my face and wished the hole would open up underneath me and swallow me away. But anyways, let's go inside. I'm going to show you around, and I'm going to share a few tips and tricks with you to help you learn a new language quickly and efficiently. Yeah, I knew I could learn to speak a new language. I had learned English as my mother tongue, so I knew I had all the abilities that I needed to learn to speak another language. It's funny because I still remember sitting there with a big green book full of dialogues, memorizing them, learning how to ask for directions and memorize the conjugated verb list. It's horrible in Portuguese. There's like 69 different ways to conjugate the verb. And then you study the words, you learn a word, and bam, 5 minutes later, you can't remember that word. Or worse yet, you learn it, you practice it, but then you don't know how to use it correctly in the sentence. It's like your mind goes blank, the words get caught in your throat, and it's a frustrating experience. Or worse yet, and then you go and you talk to somebody and you use that new word or phrase and they look at you with a blank look on their face because they don't understand what you're saying. Or even worse, when they burst out laughing because you say something stupid. It can be humiliating at times. You finally get up the courage to go out somewhere and you're amongst a group of people and then you just sit there and feel stupid because you don't understand anything that everybody's saying. I think all told I spent about a year or so actually studying mind-numbing grammar rules from a book, but most of what I learned wasn't from the book. I think living around people who were actually learning other languages really helped because I could watch and observe and see what was working and what wasn't. So yeah, a lot of times I felt like quitting and giving up, but I knew that if they could do it, I could too. So it's just a matter of discovering their secrets and finding out what worked and what didn't to overcome the various language learning obstacles that I faced. I think my motives probably weren't the purest. I know most people want to learn a new language to increase their job security in times of economic crisis, or even to get a better job and make more money. Others want to learn the language to travel the world and enjoy life. And even others just want to be more culturally refined. But I think mostly I just wanted to impress people. I was really self-conscious and shy and timid, and I thought somehow, my dream was to be a great communicator, and I thought that by learning to speak a foreign language fluently that people would respect me more. Now I have no idea why I thought that, but that's just what I thought. Kind of like go back and rub it in the faces of everybody who ever laughed at your mistakes. Yeah, I have to confess, I've said some really stupid things that came out totally wrong in the language. Now I look back on all those mistakes and I laugh at myself because it really was hilarious, but at the time it bothered me. Like one instance in particular where I asked the waiter for coconut water and he got this really funny look on his face because it sounded like I was saying poop water. But fortunately it was close enough that he understood what I wanted and he turned around and just went and got it. But not before a really confused look flashed briefly across his face. And as soon as I said it, I knew that I'd made a mistake and I was totally embarrassed. But looking back at it now, it's hilarious. I'm still learning, and it's a lot of fun. It's a great feeling when you eliminate those embarrassing pauses so that you can talk another language without stumbling all over your words. And even when you learn a language fluently and proficiently, so that you can communicate with other people, make new friends, meet the love of your life like I did, met my wife, have 2 beautiful daughters. And it's extremely satisfying, especially when you can go back and help those people who used to laugh at you before. So once people saw how well I was speaking their language, plus the fact that English was my mother tongue and they all wanted to learn it, then I really started to get requests to teach them English as well and what I knew about language learning, because so many of them started, but they would get frustrated and end up quitting. So I didn't really plan on teaching, but I had a lot of requests. I started helping a group of friends in a Sunday school classroom, and things just kept growing by word of mouth. And even 10 months later, we had a group of Americans come down, and the students were really excited when they saw that they could communicate with them, and so things just really exploded then. Well, you know, I never really planned on doing anything like this. When I started college, my dream was to be a doctor. But I met this beautiful Brazilian woman, fell in love, got married, and the rest, as they say, is history. But anyways, as I was helping other people, word about what I was doing started to get around. People started calling from Japan, Portugal, even the US, all over the place, asking me to help them online. And at first I turned them down because I was really focused on the students here locally. But my wife gave me a good tongue lashing, like wives are good to do, mine at least anyways. And, you know, I think she was right. I think I was just scared to step up to the plate and try something new. I knew I could help my students here locally, but I had no idea how to help them online. And I think I'm technologically challenged or something. But anyways, I had some great friends who helped me out, so I just got this little program ready to help my students. I was going to teach them the tips and tricks that I had learned from other successful language learners over the years. And we released it, and it was wild. I think we had like 500 people sign up in 3 days. That was our technological limit at the time. So we relaunched it again recently. We had 1,339 students, and it was absolutely crazy. So here's the deal. I've got this information that's been helping my students, and I think it would be beneficial for a lot of other people. It's also that time of the year where my wife is going to come around and ask what I've been doing and what my goals are for the future. And I don't want another tongue lashing. So I went ahead and set up this little website to see what kind of interest and feedback I'd get from people who want to learn other languages, or even English students who want to take their skills to the next level. And I've been getting a lot of great questions, so we're going to go ahead and start answering some of the more common ones here on the blog, through video. Maybe we'll even schedule some teleseminars. And based on your questions, what you tell me you need, we'll go ahead and help you the best way we can. Maybe we'll go ahead and translate some of this information that we already have that's been helping our English students, or maybe we'll go ahead and create something totally different. So I really don't know where this is going to go yet. You tell me what you need help with, and I'll do what I can based on my own language learning experience and my observations of thousands of other language students over the years. Meantime, I'm going to go ahead and answer some of the more common questions here on the blog and through the videos, and you can keep in touch with me by commenting on the videos on the blog and even replying to my emails. Go ahead and start with this one. Tell me a little bit about yourself, what language you want to learn, what your goals are, why you want to learn it, all that kind of good stuff. I look forward to talking to you, getting to know you better, and helping you learn a new language.